After working with the testimonial section, now with what section I will work? You see that I did not work with the cost section yet, and I did not work with the event section yet. I will work with that in the last. Okay, so here this section is also done, and news section I will also work with that in the last, no problem. Now this is a section, and there is another section. If you go to the about page, I am going to the HTML about section, and in the HTML about page you will see that this section, that is actually the specialty section in the home page. I already have implemented that, in the special section, but in the about page I did not show that, but I will show you that after some lectures, no problem. And here you will see this section. This section is also implemented for the home page, so I can easily show this section in the about page when I will create that. But there is an extra section. You see, if I refresh, you will see that there is a how many number of this item, number of this item. So a counter is rolling here. So what I can do, I can create another table to manage the counters here. So in order to do that, I am going to create a migration now. This is my source code. I am going to open the terminal, and here I am going to run the code, that is php artisan make migration, and then create counters. So counters table. So the counters table is now created. If I the counter migration file is created. If I go here, you will see that this is the counter table fields to add here. I am going to add the table fields here, that is table of, for example, string, and here the first one is counter one item, right? So counter one title. If I go here, you will see that the counter one, this is the name. I can also give the name. So number one is number, one is name. So here I can give the name number, counter on number, and then counter on name. So this is the first item. Second item is counter 2 number, counter 2 name, 3 number, and counter 3 name, counter 4 number, counter 4 name. And another one that I will add here, that is status. So here I call that is status. So here is status, and another one here you see that is there is actually no background here, so status is okay if I want to show the counter here or not. So I think this is enough, and that is good. Counter number, everything you have to input here. So now I am going to create php artisan migrate command. So I will create a table now. So counter table is created. If I go to the database, if I refresh, you will see that counters table comes, and this is the structure. There is actually by default no data, so I am going to insert a data here. So here for example, this one is the number, and here is donations. Here counter on name is donations, counter to name is this one, and the name is volunteers, then this is volunteers, then there is a number 130 that is here, and projects, this is the number here, and the last one is this one, and after that there is another one that is events organized. Okay, that's good. And status is show, for example. So I am going to add this one, and I am going to the counter table. These are the default information I give here. I will just go to edit this information here. So this task is done, my table is created. I am going to close it. Now I am going to create a model. So php artisan make model. So model will be counter here, okay, because the singular name of the counters table is counter. So I am going to create another one, that is here into the admin. I am going to create a controller. So php artisan make controller, and then into the admin folder I am going to create admin counter controller. So this one. So you see a counter controller comes here. This one I am going to call them model here, that is app models counter, and here I will write all other items. Here you see what I did in the case of a special, the same thing I will do here. So I am going to copy this. One is edit and another one is edit submit, very simple. So here I am going to paste it. Okay, so this is the counter. From the counters table the data will come. So counter is the model name is counter right here, where id equal to 1. You can also here give the function that is find.fail, no problem. And here is counter, so counter data will come into this variable, and here I will pass the data, and in this counter folder there will be edit blade, and there the data will be sent. So let's do that. I am going to close this. Okay, in the views admin, I am going to create a folder here into the admin folder, that is counter. So counter, and here I will create a blade file, that is edit.blade.php. so this is the edit.blade.php, and here I am going to copy the data from the special like this. I am going to copy it, and from here I am going to paste the data here. So edit, this will be counter, and here this will be admin counter edit submit, and this is counter. And here the data I will show here, that is counter 1, that is counter 1 name or number. You can give the number here or name first, no issue. And here it will be name equal to counter 1 number. I am going to check what is into my database, counter on number, that is okay. So counter on number is here, and here the value will be counter 1 number, and this will be under the counter variable. This is the key. Okay, like this, counter on number, and here I am going to copy this line and I'm going to paste it here. Counter on this will be the name. So one is number and another one is name. So here is I am going to show that is name. Okay, so counter of number and name, so that is perfect. Now I am going to copy this one. I have total 4 counters, right? So here I am going to paste another one, that is counter 2. So here I give the 2, and here you also see there are some more items, that will be 2. So after counter 2, then I am going to write that is counter 3. So it will be counter 3 number, 3 name, and this one will be also 3. So here I just replace everything here, that is 3, and the last one will be actually the counter 4. So here I put that counter 4, and all the one will be actually 4 here. Okay, perfect. And the last one is actually the status. So I am going to remove this one, and the status will be like this, the status, and this is the counter. So counter status, existing status will be checked. So after the submission, it will go to the admin counter edit submit this route. There will be no ENC type because I do not have any photo in this section. So here it will come here, and every information here is mandatory. So counter 1 number, this will be required. So after that there will be counter of name required, counter 2 number, counter 2 name, counter 3 number, counter 3 name, counter 4 number, counter 4 name required, and then the last one is the status. Actually status not needed, but if you want you can give here, because there is actually you must have to select something in the case of status. So I am not going to give that here, and the photo is actually not needed. I am going to remove that, and here where there is a special, this will be counter, and here all the special here will be counter. So like this, and here you see the counter heading. I am going to remove all other items from here. Okay, so here the first item will be here counter 1 number, and my GitHub Copilot will help me to put all other information like this. This is very helpful. Great. So just press tab and everything will be written here, status. Okay, perfect. So counter update, and here it will be shown that is counter section updated successfully. So my task is done. I hope it will work. I am going to add this item into my admin view, and in the admin view sidebar I am going to check that is layouts, and this is the sidebar, and here like the testimonial I am going to add this one, that is counter. So this one will be counter, and here it will be counter instead of testimonial. So this is counter, and this is counter section. Okay, counters, perfect. Now I am going to web.php, and here like the testimonial section I am going to copy the data, but all the data will not be here, not this one. I will actually copy the special section like this. So I am going to copy, and after the testimonial I am going to paste it, and this will be admin, actually not a special counter. This is I have here, that is admin counter controller. So here instead of a special, I will have to write the counter, and in the top I will have to add that controller, that is admin counter controller, that is added here. So everything should work very perfectly here. Now I am going to refresh it. You see admin counter index not defined, where that is. I am going to check it, admin counter edit, admin counter submit. And if I go to the edit blade, edit counter, admin counter submit, edit submit is okay. But where is admin counter index? I am again going to check it here, that is testimonial index. I'm going to refresh it. Everywhere it is problem. Why? Here is the problem, admin counter. Okay, actually here I will follow in the sidebar what I did in the case of a special. So this was a special edit, right? So here counter index has nothing, I have the counter edit, so it should work now. Okay, so counters, go to here, you see counter on number, counter on name, counter to number, name, number, name, number, name. Very easy and very precise here. If you click on update, it will be updated, and that data I will show into the front end. But if it is updated or not, if you want to show it, you see I give here something 1100 update. You see it is updated. If I go to the database, you see this is changed. Also, if I go here, if I want to show hide it, it is hidden. Refresh, you will see that this is hide. So I am going to show it again, show. If I refresh, you see the status is show again now. So the admin panel backend for the counter section is working perfectly. Now this counter section I will have to show in the front end, right? But I did not create any about page now. You see there is actually no about page, but in the HTML there is a about HTML I have in my hand, right? So here I will see all this, I will show all the sections. So before showing all other sections, I am going to show this counter section. So what I will do, I am going to close the admin section options from here. Okay, so now I am going to open the controller, that is the home controller, that is the front of home controller. This was actually my only own controller, but now I am going to create another controller, that is about controller, in order to show the data of the about page, right? So in order to do that, I am going to the terminal, and here I am going to create a controller, php artisan, then make controller, and into the front folder I will create about controller. That means about page contents will be there. So you see another controller is created, that is about page controller. Okay, so in the home page controller, you see there are many other options. So similarly in the about page, I am going to create public function index, so like this, and return view front about. You see in my front view there is a home blade, and here I will create now another one, that is about.blade.php. In the home blade, what I did, I here called this thing in the top, so I am going to copy and paste it here, and in the last I am going to put, that is end section, end section. Okay, so this is the basic layout. So I will put the content here now. There is a nav, you see there is a front layout, there is a nav, and in the nav there is a home. So I am going to copy the home route and paste it here. This will be now the about route. I will define the about route now in here. My controller I am going to add, that is about controller, and here like the front here I am going to copy and paste it, and this will be actually the about. This will be about controller content, about index is okay, and here this will be about. So if a person click on about, what happens? Let's check it, refresh. If I click about, you see there is actually no content in the middle, right? I put a blank item here. If I put like this about, so refresh, you see it is coming here, but this is not my content. I am going to open the HTML now. In the HTML there is about.html. I am going to open that with my editor, and in the about.html, after the navbar there is a paste stop, you see. So I am going to copy this on, and in my about blade I am going to paste it, and after that there is a special section like this. So I am going to copy this. Why choose a section needed, also counter. So this one I am going to copy here and paste into the about blade here. Okay, so let's check it. If I refresh now, you see all the items are coming here, but I will use here dynamic data, right? So here I will have to call the dynamic data. So in the about controller I will pass something into the about page, that is counter items. So here I am going to use app, then models, and here I will use the content, that is counter. So here what I will use counters equal to counter get, and here using the compact I can send the counters to the about page, that means about blade. So in the about blade here I have all the data now in my hand, but here one thing is missing, that is in the counter table I do not need to get a whole table. I will use a condition where id equal to 1 and I will get the first item here. So this is the counters. So I am going to put the items here. For example, here I will write the data, that is counters of counter 1 number. So let's check it if it works or not. This is not my number. I refresh. Here you see the first spelling mistake, FIR missing here. Now refresh, you see it is working, and here you see 1100 because in my database field I put this one. If I change it, for example 20, now if I come here refresh, you see it is working. So it will work. So I am going to do the same thing for all other items, that is counter 1 name here. So like this, and this thing I am going to paste in all places. So like this. So all will be counter 2, then it will be 3, it will be 4, and this item, that is name, I am going to put here, that is 2 name, and this will be counter 3 name, and this one will be counter 4 name. So like this, and there is a status. So similarly I am going to check if counter status equal to show, then only this section will be shown. So here I am going to put in diff here. So now let's check it, refresh. You see there is a problem. Why? Counter status, actually not counter status, counters status is missing here. So refresh it now. Yes, it is working. Now if I hide this one, hide update, refresh, you see that is not showing here. If I make it show again and then update, you will see after refresh it is coming. So the counter section is working in the about us page. Now I will show the special and feature section in the about us page here, because I just created about us page in the previous lecture, you know, that is here. Now how I can make this, here you see in the home page, this one I am going to change, that is route home. So like this it will be route home, about us is okay. The banner here I can just put a banner, that is like this, asset, and then uploads. Static is okay now. Afterwards I will change it, but for now this is okay. And here are mission, what we do, these things will be changed. So what I did in the case of the front end home, that was the special section like this, special status. So the same thing I will do here. In the home controller I called here, that is app models special. So in the about controller I am going to call the same thing, and home controller there are two feature section controller here. So in the about I am going to call the two items, and now I am going to check the data like this, that is special and features. These two items I am going to copy, and in the about controller I am going to paste it, and all those data I am going to pass into here, that is a special, features and feature section items. So all the data I am going to get into the about, that is feature item and special item. So in the case of a special section, what I did in the home page, you see a special status. If a special status equal to show, then only that section will be shown. So here I can put this on, and in the bottom I am going to put end if. Similarly, here you see there is a special subheading and heading H2 H3. I am going to copy, and in here I am going to paste those items, and afterwards there is this one, that is the text, and I am going to paste that here like before. And here where there is read more, you see this one I am going to copy, and here I am going to replace it here. And in the home, in the case of video section, I am actually going to copy the whole section from here, that is called MD6, and here I am going to paste the whole section. So it should work. If I refresh, you will see that there is no error, it is working. If I now want to hide it, for example the special section, if I want to hide, so it will also hide from the about page and in from the home page. If I hide it from both places, you see from here it is hidden, and if I go to the home page, you see that is not here, so it is missing. I am going to bring it back, so show will be here, refresh, it comes here, and also in the about page it comes here. So this section is working perfectly. After that there is another section, that is the feature section. So feature section in the home page, what I did, that is after the cause there was feature section. So similar, so if you want, you can just copy the whole section from here, and here why choose section, the whole section I can just replace here. So why choose us or feature, that's perfect. Now if I refresh it, you see it is working perfectly. So similarly in the feature, if I want to hide this one from here, you will see this is hidden. Now if I want to bring it back, I can easily bring it back. You see it is working. Another important thing here in this page, that is home is not selected. When I click home, it is selected. When I click about, it is actually not selected. How I can do that? I am going to close all other items from here, everything I am going to close. Now let's check the admin sidebar. If you go to the admin sidebar, for example layout sidebar, you see there is a request is active. So from any place I am going to copy it, and in my case that is front and nav layout, front layouts, and there is a nav. So I am going here. You see there is active class in the, when home is selected, this active will be here, otherwise it will not be here. So here I can put this one, that is if the request is home page, right? So here I can just put the home, then it will active, otherwise it will not active. I am going to copy this, and here I am going to paste, and this will be if the request is about, then only this one will active, otherwise it will not active. Okay, so this is for example the about. Now let's check it if it is working or not. When I am going to the home page, home is selected. If I go to the about page, you see now about is selected, so it is working perfectly. If from here, from the breadcrumb, I can also go back to the home page. So yeah, it is working perfectly.